want to make it, okay, cool.
Hi, Stacey J. Thank you so much for joining us today with the Soulful Love Summit.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm so excited and so proud of you. This is really amazing for you to get all of these professionals together to serve your audience and hopefully empower and improve some lives. So good stuff, Tree.
Oh, thank you. I'm actually surprised that you and a lot of other people said yes when I asked. So, like me and my little summit.
Everyone is here for you. We're all
Thank you. Well, you guys have such golden nuggets to share, and you especially, because first of all, I have to tell you, I hate dating. I hated it when I'm in a relationship now, a committed one, but before, oh my God, I hated it. So the fact that I can talk to somebody who, and I know my audience hates dating too, can give them keys to learn how to actually enjoy dating and not want to throw up at the thought of dating. I mean, it's invaluable. So I can't wait to talk to you about that and more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm excited as well. It's interesting though, because I have to admit at one particular point in my life, I hated dating too, but I think what happens is you kind of understand, for me, you start to understand who you are and you start having fun, and it just, the seriousness of the anxiety of it all kind of goes away. It's kind of, I always tell people, you have to understand dating as a process. It's not this thing that is, how can I put it? It just doesn't happen. You just don't wake up like our moms taught us. Just go to college, get an education, and find a husband. It's not like that, because then you might find someone who you think may be a husband, but then it's not a healthy relationship. So if you understand that it's a process, and that's the process that we were never taught as kids. Dating is a process. Honestly, I can tell you, dating, if you look at it like I'm going to explain it to you, you can have so much fun. The first thing to understanding the process is to stop living in the results of the date. I don't know if you can identify with this. You're out on a date. He comes in. He's tall. He's slender, or whatever body type you like, He has this smile, these teeth that are radiating from I don't know what, like it's just like all there. And the chemistry is just there. And you're like, oh wow, this could definitely be a great husband for me, He's tall, he has all of these things. His conversation is great. You are not at one point in the date. You're planning your wedding. Yeah. So you can't really, when you're in a situation like that and you're dating, you can't enjoy it because you're all the way down the street. All the way. You are over the mountain, girl. You are at babies. You are at grandchildren. You are not in the date. So what I tell people is, you want to experience the person sitting across from you. You want to literally be listening, okay, and taking in what he's saying, so that then honestly you can add not value to the conversation, but you can add, and when I say value, because some women try to think that they want to show up and know all of the answers, know all of the information, because we're proud, we're smart women, and we want to share that. No, we want to share it, but we don't want to share it as a know-it-all. So when I say you want to be in the conversation, you want to listen to him, you want to experience him, and then ask him questions from what he's saying, and share, of course, who you are, but not from a know-it-all situation. Like, for instance, if a guy shares that he's been to, he's been to China, and then you have also been to China. So now the conversation comes a battle with who had the best experience in China, because I am a smart woman and I want people to know that I have experienced China as well. No, I always say the best daters are the women who can be. What do I mean by be? And the men can do. What do I mean by do? So being is being fully who you are. Don't forget that little girl who loved to laugh when she was younger. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget the little girly parts of you who you like to smile. You like to laugh. You're intelligent, but you're not a know-it-all. You are in that day, you are listening with your eyes and your ears. You're listening, you're looking at his behavior patterns, and you're experiencing him. It's so important for us not to be in the result of the date and to really experience who the person is. And to be confident, be girly, be sexy. Oh gosh, be intelligent, but not a know-it-all. Be feminine. Oh, we so forget our feminine quality. Do you know, Tree, that a man is more attracted to the feminine essence of a woman, her vulnerability and her emotions, which is a stereotype. People think that men aren't attracted to your emotions. No, they're attracted to your emotions and your feelings. But we don't share that part of ourselves because we're go-get-it women. I mean, we're feminists. We are rocking and rolling, and anything a man can do, dog it, we can do it too. Absolutely we can. But at home, let a masculine man be a masculine man. And when you're on that date, experience the date. And let me say this, and because I know I talk a lot once we get into it, it's like, when you start experiencing the date, what you will find is you will start listening more and getting a lot of the questions that you answered that you find sometimes that you have to put a man through a whole questionnaire. You know, where are you from? What do you do? Where you raised? And he's like, oh my God, I feel like I'm on an interview. Like, for real? But if you're listening to him sharing who he is and you're giving from who you are, then it becomes a real connection and a real conversation instead of an interview. But the reason you're interviewing, ladies, is because you're not listening. When you start listening, it will be less of the questions that you feel like you have to show up with. And it will become more of a, oh, wow, so where are you from? He says where he's from. You say where you're in it begins to be an organic, oh, wow, you like Krispy Kreme donuts. So do I. So it's not like, where are you from? He tells you, oh, really? Who raised you? Where, how many kids you want to have? It's, oh, wow, your mom raised you. Wow, that's so interesting. I was raised by my mom as well. My dad and my mom got divorced probably when I was 16. Really? You too? Absolutely. So then it's a real giving and taking of energy rather than an interview. So again, women be, men do. Be intelligent, be a know-it-all. Be intelligent, but not a know-it-all. Be sexy, be flirty, be girly, be communicative, be feminine. Men are masculine. They're doers. They're planners. They go out and I'm sorry, ladies, it's okay for them to bring home the bacon. Okay? They're doers. Allow him to plan. Allow him to do things to make you happy, even on that date. And experience him. Please experience him. Don't interview. And please, for God's sake, don't be down the street and at the wedding, and then the grandchildren, and all of this other stuff. Okay?
I love you. You're so sassy. I love it.
I am.
I love it. I know you haven't gotten there. You're so enlivened. Yeah, this is great. Well, the interesting thing is that when this is what we want, right? When we go out on dates, we want someone to listen to us too. We want someone to not have us and checklist in their mind checking things off. We want them to be with us and hear us and listen to us instead of like going off somewhere else. Even if going off somewhere else means, oh my God, I can't wait to get out of this date. But
then we're wanting that, but we're not even giving it.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
And I would say this too to women, and I understand the angst of going out, But going out on dates, it's practice. Look at it as practice. Don't look at it as him being the one. Look at him as being a way to get to the one, because the only way you're going to know how to become a better dater and the better person, a better person being yourself. Because a lot of times it seems easy when I say being yourself, but a lot of times on dates, women are not themselves. They come up, and men aren't either. They come in with this personality of something that they feel that they need to be to get the attention and keep the attention of a man. But absolutely, a man wants you to be yourself. But ladies, if you look at the date as being just a date, it's just a date. It takes all of the pressure off. And then the more you can go out on these dates, the better and more comfortable you can be with dating. If you sit at home all the time and the only thing you do is go to work, then the only man you're going to meet is the man that comes to your door looking for you. The postman, the Federal Express man, the UPS man, the Jehovah Witness man, and if you live in the apartment, the maintenance man. That's it. So unless you want one of those guys, which I'm sure they're all great guys, unless you want just them, you have to leave the house and you have to actively be dating. Because dating makes you more secure with being fully you. Just use every date as just an experience. Take all the angst away. Use it as just an experience and to go out and be fully who you are. Now, I can say this before we move on, Tree. There are some things that you don't want to engage in conversations with when you first meet somebody. Your crazy mama or your crazy daddy, your crazy sister, any crazy people in your family. Crazies are not in the conversation, okay? Religion. I would say leave religion out of your first date, just because sometimes people tend to judge judge a person by what religion they practice, when really sometimes, like I've met Muslim people before, and guess what? Sometimes you would think all of this stuff about, no, honey, it has nothing to do with anything. This person is just a Muslim. Like you tend to go into, oh God, now I got to cover my head. I have to, am I giving him to cover my head? That means I can't show my face. All of these things. It's like, no, girl, if the man is a Muslim, let him be a Muslim. It's okay right now. You're just on a date. If you move closer to something that becomes a relationship, that's when those conversations become really serious. Right now, he's just a guy sitting across from you, and you should be a girl sitting across from him having a great time, okay? Also, please leave your past sexual escapades, or how wild you were in college, or, how you were this sorority chick that was turned up, or any of that behavior. Let's just leave it until we are at those funny points in our relationship, if this guy is going to be somewhere where you guys are both sharing all this crazy stuff you used to do when you were kids. You get what I'm saying? Because sometimes you can leave the conversation about all drama with girlfriends and, any of I call it the low-level communication. You want to talk high level. What is high-level communication? Where you've traveled, what you want to travel, where you want to travel, what are your dreams, what are your aspirations? And if you do want to share something that is something that you may not be proud of, find a way to make it positive. Like, oh my gosh, if he's sharing something about himself, and then you go, wow, I can totally understand. I went through the same thing, but this is the way I got out of it. If you found a way to make it positive in your life, but not low-level thinking of any family member and any of that, and even your life experiences. Just get to know the guy and have a hell of a lot of fun. When I tell you have a hell of a lot of fun, and I want you to leave those dates saying, wow, I may not ever see that guy again, but I had so much fun.
I love that.
Get you closer to the one, And the bad dates still get you closer to the one. You know why?
Why?
Because you're closer to knowing what you don't want, that will still get you to the one. So even those dates that are like, oh, what in the world? I wanted to leave. I wanted to say bye and hello. Find a way. Everyone has something interesting to share. If you are literally experiencing the other person and taking the angst off of the future of the relationship and you've known this person for 2 minutes. Yeah.
It's so fascinating because honestly, I have to be honest with you. Because I know that you talk a lot about dating multiple men.
Yes.
And when I read through your site, and I didn't know your whole philosophy back, but I was like, why would I want to date multiple men? Like, I don't want to date multiple men. But now that I understand where you're coming from,
yes.
It's a process and it's a practice, and every date gets you closer to the one.
Exactly. And enjoying the journey and not being so concentrated on the results.
Yeah, that makes total sense now, because now it's like, yeah, that's right. It's not that it's a numbers game. It's that it's your, and I can imagine every single time you go on a date and you're having fun and you're listening and you're learning, you're actually gaining confidence on how to be more of yourself on dates.
Yes. Exactly. And dating multiple men, honestly, you become, like I said, you become more self-discovered. You discover more things more of the things you do want, the things that you don't want. Because I can tell you in real life, how do we know after a relationship what we don't want and what we do want? It's easy. The things that we break up about are the things that we don't want. The things that we liked about them are the things that we do want. But let me tell you something. There's like outside of there's ways to get to a more robust like things that you like and things that you don't like outside of just the relationship that didn't work. If you're just getting what didn't work and what did work as giving you your likes and dislikes, then you got a long ways to go. You have to experience different kinds of people to really be put in the situations to understand what you want and what you don't want. If you're never put into those situations, then how are you going to know? How are you really going to know? Or are you going to be operating on what your mother told you, or what your grandmother told you, or any of the other matriarchs in your family, or your friends, the TV, the music you listen to? All of those things will start to influence who you are and what you do like and what you don't like, and the bad relationships that you have. But if you allow yourself to sit in front of many people, okay, and experience the give and take of what that energy is, the things that they're sharing, you get closer to being a lot more self-discovered than a woman who is just focused on one guy. And you save a lot of time. Because if a woman is focused on one guy, what happens? It's hot and heavy the first 3 months. Oh my gosh, girlfriend, woo, I have found the one. 6 months, he's gone because it was too hot and heavy. And all of the pheromones and all of those things were operating at the top of your brain, and you weren't making logical decisions. You were just in the energy of the same part of the brain that is in the energy of cravings, obsessions, and all of those things. Your cerebral cortex that is not of logic, making decisions, being rational, all of that is going out the door for the first 6 months, for the first 3 months. Okay? By the 6 months, it's gone, and you're like, and he's like, this ain't gonna work. 6 months, he's gone. You take 3 months to get, I'm sorry. Usually, it may not be gone as quick because you're both trying to fight it through. You know that something's wrong, but you're like, oh my God, it was so hot and heavy at the beginning. What in the world happened? So then guess what happens? You fight it through to about 9 months. 9 months, it's over. You take a break for 3 months because that's what you feel you should do as a respectable woman. Yes, go respectable woman, instead of getting your butt back online and starting the process over. So you wait 3 months. You have spent 1 year with one guy, as opposed to dating multiple experiencing the energy, the communication, finding out what you like, what you don't like, and then just knocking them off like that. Oh, I don't like that. Boop. There's another. Oh, I don't like that. Boop. It's no more confusing than, let me say this, dating multiple men, because I have women that tell me, oh, but how am I going to remember the names? Well, say for instance, you went to a party, you met 3 girls. Her name is Tree, one's name is Stacy, and one's name is Daphne. I'm sorry. I think that you're smart enough, ladies, to remember what Daphne tells you versus Stacy and the personalities of all 3. It is something that we tell ourselves because we have been conditioned that dating multiple men is the wrong way of doing it. If you want to know how to date multiple men, call me. I'm telling you. I have it down pat, absolutely. I have many women who I've coached who are experiencing a life. Go to my Instagram. I always have testimonials from people who are experiencing a life as a dater that they never thought existed, because dating multiple men is not just in the numbers. People think, well, you know, Stacey said date multiple men, so let me just go out and date 5 guys. That's not my process with dating multiple men. It's not just in the numbers. It's in how you're experiencing, truly experiencing the individuals that are in front of you. Okay, Tree, I talk a lot. I'm sorry.
No, I love that. I think that's so fascinating, because the initial reaction is, ew, I'm not going to date multiple men. But when you explain it the way you explain it, and if you look at dating as not the end all and the be all, because I have a lot of friends who are single, and every single date in the back of their mind, there's a checklist.
Yes.
So, you know, he's talking and they're going through this checklist, and yep, tall, check. Yep, good smile, check. Yep, job, check. You know, and they're sort of sifting through, looking for the one that matches everything on this list. And
I always say, don't worry about finding the one. Why don't you be the one for yourself? A lot of women, they think that when love comes into their life, they'll know it. Not really, because you don't love yourself. If you loved yourself, then you wouldn't fall for some of the scams that come your way. Okay? Because you would really know what love feels like. So I would challenge any woman or friend that would come to me and say that, what does love feel like? Do you really know what loving you feels like? No, what you know is the love that you got from someone that you didn't like, the love that you did get from somebody else you did like, but then it went bad. But what do you really know about loving yourself? Instead of worrying about finding the one, why don't we worry about being the one first? And that's what a lot of women tend to get off. They also, with these lists, I don't mind a list, but ask yourself, from what you've listed, are you willing to be first for you what you've listed? If you're not willing to be those things first for yourself, then what in God's green earth would you think that you could attract something that you're not even trying to be for yourself? You see what I'm saying? Are you dependable for yourself? You want somebody who's dependable. Are you dependable? Are you inspiring? Do you inspire others? Do you inspire yourself? Or are you just going to work, going home, and sitting your butt on the couch? That's not very inspirational. You want a man that's adventurous. Are you adventurous? You're tired of men taking you out on dates to the movies and to dinner. Or do you take yourself out on adventurous dates? No, probably not. Okay, so then you have to think about, what is your marketability? I meet a lot of women who want Barack Obama, but are you Michelle Obama? Are you walking around with your toes not done for yourself? Are you walking around with your ankles ashy for yourself? Are you walking around with your hair not combed for yourself? What are you being for yourself without him in your life? What are you positioning yourself for yourself? What are you preparing your life for? A lot of times we want this other individual, but we have this list. And the reason I'm talking about the street, because you mentioned the list. The list is fine. I love a list. But are you being those things on the list first? The list that you Absolutely, girl. Give me that list. Oh, yes, child. Okay, now let's ask you this question. What are you willing to do on that list? What are you willing to become on that list? Because if you're not if you're not what you're requiring, then you're never going to get it. So stop whining and do the freaking work to get it done. It's just that simple. It is not brain surgery. If you do the work, get out of your head and stop talking about what you want and not being responsible to, if I want those things, I have to be that. Like women, we have it all figured out. We have business, we have raising kids, we have, gosh, I even think there will be a female president. We have figured it out, but we have not figured out love. We have not figured out how to attract and keep a healthy romantic love in our lives because we don't admit that there is some work to be done. We don't admit that we need help. We can get help from any other work. If you're not doing something right, you know that you need somebody to guide you in the right position to help you do your job right. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you're not doing something right with your kids, you go to your mother and say, Mom, this is how you raised me. I need some help. But with love, we feel like we're just supposed to pop out of our moms, grow up, and know exactly how to do it right. Well, maybe they had it better back in the day because there wasn't the internet. There weren't as many choices. The connectivity was different. People would be together and just stay together just because, girl, that's what you're supposed to do. But these days, though, there are choices. And if it's not working out, that's why the divorce rate shows from 45 to 55%, people are leaving. They're not staying because of kids anymore. They're like, my kids, I don't even want my kids to see me in a unhealthy relationship because it's going to act as a negative for them as they move forward. People are leaving. So why not, as single people today, empower yourselves with the tools and the knowledge to get it right? Why not? What's wrong with that?
It's simple.
It's so simple. Did you know, Tree, that there was a study that said that, and we move too quick. 22% of the people 27% of the people who date for 2 years and not rush into things, meaning long-lasting commitments, whether it's marriage, lifetime partnership, or whatever, they end up setting themselves up better to have a lasting relationship. You know why? I talked a little bit, and I'm not an expert in this. Dawn Massler was on my podcast, and she shared with us, and that's how I know all that stuff about the brain, how initially your brain goes into this state of not making decisions properly, like cravings, obsessions, and things like that. When your brain comes out of that, and that 3 to 6 month thing has happened, if you're still slowly pacing it, getting to know him, looking at his character, not just what he says his character and his values are, but what is he doing? Then when the brain comes out of that space of, oh my gosh, he's just so perfect. Everything about him is just so perfect. Well, and then the 6 months come along, and then you really start to get to know this person before you make that commitment. Then you're back into rational thinking. That's why they usually die. It's statistics. A relationship that starts off as fast and brisk as they usually do, they die after 6 to 9 months. It's not you, ladies. It's your behavior. It's what you are accepting in your life. It's just that simple. If you want something different, just like with anything else in life, you have to do something different. And your love life is not any different. I'm going to say something and I may piss some people off. I really might. If I haven't already, I might have anyway. But a lot of women go, well, what about the man? What about the work that they have to do? What about them? And, what about the things that they have to do? Well, let me tell you, ladies, aside from the guys who have no good intentions for you, men have it figured out. Men, 85% of the good ones They have it figured out. That's why when you go to them and you say, well, I mean, we've been dating for about 4 months now, and shouldn't we just, all poor and pitiful, shouldn't we just, make a commitment to each other and just really so that we can be moving towards something long lasting, honey? And he goes, we're having a great time. Why don't we just take our time and just continue to see where it goes? You know why? Because men respect commitment. They respect making a choice. These are good guys. Now, there's some really other kind of guys out there. But most men respect making a choice for one woman. If they make a choice for one woman, they really want to have established an emotional connection to them, their heartstring. This woman has established an emotional connection to their heartstring. It's not in 3 months, 6 month time. It's if you have established an emotional connection to their heartstring, and most good guys will not make a commitment before then. So no matter how much you whine and beg and plead, like I'll never understand that, and tell him the time that you guys have, it won't make a difference. Men have it figured out. If they break up with someone, if it didn't work, they're not 9 times out of 10 at home with their guys talking about what she did to him and how no, not like us. Men are moving on. They out the door on another date very quickly. We at home depressed. Oh God, I just really thought. You got to know yourself, because when that man leaves you, or you leave him because of whatever reasons, you got to know, you know what? It's not he did anything wrong or I did anything wrong. It just, we didn't work well together. His choices of cheating on me didn't work well with me. So I left and leave and go get online and go out and continue to living a full single girl's life. So men have it figured out as far as I'm concerned. They're dating multiple people. Absolutely. They may not tell you, because I say, women, if you're dating multiple men, you tell the man who you're dating that, yeah. And I can give you, and if you take my coaching, I can give you the best way to say that, and men will be actually more attracted to you than they were before you said it. But men are doing it right, Tree. Men are doing it right. I'm sorry, I went into my little whining girl.
I love it.
I'll never understand that. Oh my God, I just can't believe girl, do you love yourself? Stop that. If that man doesn't want you, if you know who you are, if you know that you are a queen, if you know what you deserve, if you've been through some proper coaching and gotten tools, you're not crying about that guy leaving. You're actually, I tell my clients, run through the house, girl, run through the house, because emotions don't come to us. We go after emotions. So if you go after another emotion, laugh, run through the house, cheer, turn on some music, dance, then you will consciously put yourself in another situation of experiencing that. He left me. Oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do.
That's so true. I love that about the emotions, because it's absolutely true. You don't have to stay stuck in your, I can't mimic that whining thing, but you can't stay stuck in that.
That's special. That's a special thing that I do.
I love it.
And know your marketability. I can't stress that enough. Know your starters, know your non-starters, and know your preferences. And those are two different things. Tree, I could go on and on.
I know, I could go on and on.
Coaching, ladies, take my coaching. Okay.
So tell us about your Coach to Love program.
Oh, absolutely. So I offer virtually, I have clients all across the country, and I have clients in Atlanta as well, where they do get to meet with me locally in person. But Coach to Love, it is the best dating, love, and relationship course ever created. And I have to say, ever created, because we don't only touch on the how do I act in a date? What do I need to become? No, we talk about the love story you inherited. What love story did you inherit from when you were growing up? So we go back to the beginning. What did you see from men? Because all of these things we think, they play on who we attract and who we are. So we go back and then we recreate. We rewrite the love story from what we inherited. We also, during this course, we talk about really, and there's something women have about being in their feminine soul. And they don't understand that it is, if they can find out what that is, and everybody's is different, doesn't mean you got to wear makeup, you got to wear heels, all these things that are on the outside, that has nothing to do with your feminine soul. So we uncover each woman's feminine soul during my coaching, because that is the key to attraction to a man, your vulnerability and your feminine soul, because there is nothing about him that is any of that. And I'm talking about men who are majority masculine. There's nothing about that. Nothing about that vulnerability. They love it, but we hold it back from them. So we get to a woman's, what is her feminine soul? We also, so we're not just talking about, so we'll get to the dating stuff, the dating do's and don'ts and all of that. And then but we start more internal. And then we also get into how to activate that love vibration, and every woman has something different. How do I activate that so that just not one man is attracted to me? The postman is attracted to me, and he doesn't even understand why. We actually go through scripts, and when I say scripts, we do some role playing, because a lot of times if you don't do that role playing, a woman doesn't know when she's put in that situation what the other choice may have been. So we make sure we do that. So we go internal. We also do the do's and don'ts. I give questions, the best questions to ask on a first date, 1 through 5, 1 through 5, 5 through 9, and 10 plus. Because there are some great questions, because outside of having connection and chemistry, you want to know a person's character, but you also want to understand his character from what he's doing, not just what he's saying. So it's an amazing course, and women love it. And it's affordable. I try to make my courses affordable so that you can, how can I put this? So that it doesn't create so much of an angst on you. So if you have a group of women of 6, like I call that my village course, because some women have girlfriends who are single. And then I have another course, a village of 3. So then you can do one-on-one, but I give you the village opportunities as well. So that if you have girlfriends who you trust, and it's like, okay, yeah, we can all do this together, because we're kind of on this journey anyway as girlfriends. Then you get an opportunity to have your coaching, and all of you do it at the same time, which is amazing, because then you have support. So my village coaching is extremely, extremely, extremely affordable. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds great. And it sounds like a lot of fun to take that with some friends too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to put the link to your website, and also to the free gift that you're offering for your dating tips. Yeah, I'm going to put the link to that underneath this video. And for all of you audience, it was such a great animated session. I hope you enjoyed it. You can see more of Stacey J in the link that I'm going to put below here. All right.
All right.
Thank you so much, Stacey.
Yeah. All right. Bye.